Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Global Conflict News. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today we're diving into a dramatic development in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Massive attack. Ukraine strikes deep inside Russia. Moscow on alert. We will break this down thoroughly, from how the assault projects outward the exterior, to what's happening behind the scenes the interior. Then assess its performance, the safety or risks involved, highlight unique strategic features, discuss the costs, both literal and metaphorical, and wrap up with a conclusion. When we speak about the exterior, we mean how this operation appears publicly, what the world sees, and how Russia, Ukraine, and global audiences interpret it. The announcement of a deep strike into Russian territory sends multiple signals. First, that Ukraine is capable of extending its reach beyond its borders, challenging the notion of safe zones within Russia. It signals boldness and confidence. Moscow on alert is not just a media tagline. It reflects that Russian defense structures and command posts are now under psychological and operational pressure. Air defense systems may be activated, alert statuses raised. Civilian populations in border areas may be mobilized or put on edge. The exterior also includes how Russia responds, perhaps by issuing statements condemning aggression, threatening retaliation, reinforcing its border defenses, or even launching counterstrikes or missile barrages. International observers, media outlets, intelligence analysts will all scrutinize satellite images, social media leaks, and military commentary to piece together which targets were struck, how deep, and with what weapons. From the interior perspective, that is, what is going on inside the operational planning, execution, command and control, intelligence, logistics, and decision making, this is where the substance lies. Deep strikes require careful intelligence gathering, target selection, stealth, timing, and coordination among multiple units. Ukraine's planners would need to assess Russian air defense networks, radar coverage, interceptor capabilities, surfaced, where missile sites, electronic warfare assets, and possible countermeasures. Routes must be chosen to minimize exposure, perhaps using terrain masking, low-altitude flight corridors, or stealthy drones or missiles to sneak past early warning radars. Support assets such as drones providing surveillance, signals intelligence teams, jamming or spoofing units to confuse enemy radars, and cyber tools to disrupt communications may play crucial roles. Logistics must ensure munitions and platforms are ready, fuel, maintenance, spare parts, and recovery plans are in place. Command and control centers must coordinate strikes, ensure deconfliction, avoid friendly fire, synchronize timing, perhaps multiple waves, and maintain contingencies for failures. Inside Russia, the target crews, air defense operators, and command nodes may scramble to detect, track, intercept, or mitigate. They may shift assets, activate buffer zones, or restrict civilian movement. The interior domain also includes political decision-making. Ukraine's leadership deciding to authorize a deep raid, weighing the potential gains versus escalation risks, and Russia deciding how strongly to respond without overcommitting or triggering broader war. When assessing performance, we look at how effective the strike was. Did Ukraine achieve its objectives? Which targets were hit? Military bases, command centers, logistics hubs, airfields, radar installations. How many were destroyed or degraded? To what extent was Russian capacity disrupted in communications, supply lines, air defense posture? Did the operation impose material damage? Did it force Russia to reposition resources, divert forces, or tighten security in rear areas? Performance also includes how well Ukraine minimized losses. Were any assets lost? Drones, missiles, aircraft? Did Russia manage to intercept some parts? What was the success rate? Targets hit as planned? As well, performance includes surprise and psychological impact, causing Russian leadership, military planners, and citizens to feel insecurity, forcing them to raise alert levels, divert resources, or rethink defensive strategies. A hyper-forming strike would not only inflict damage, but force a strategic shift. In terms of safety features, here safety is somewhat paradoxical. Military operations have inherent risks, but measures can reduce exposure. For Ukraine, safety features might include robust electronic warfare shields, decoys or chaff to confuse radars, redundancy in missile paths, hardened communications, escape and separation mechanisms, stealth or low observability on drones or missiles, and careful timing to exploit radar blind spots, e.g. nighttime bad weather, cluttered terrain. Also, Ukraine must secure intelligence to avoid ambushes or traps, ensure secure comm lines so adversaries can't intercept and preempt, and deploy suppression of enemy air defenses, seed, or countermeasure missions ahead of the strike. On the Russian side, safety features include layered air defenses, interceptor aircraft, surfaced, where missile batteries, point defense systems, electronic jamming, early warning radar networks, hardened bunkers and command nodes, redundancy in communications, and mobility to shift assets. Both sides aim to reduce vulnerability. Ukraine for the striking force, Russia for assets in threatened zones. Unique selling points in military or strategic terms. What makes this strike special or noteworthy? First, depth. Striking deeply inside Russia isn't just tactical border engagements, but projecting power into perceived safe zones. That challenges Russia's confidence and compels them to spread defenses. Second, precision. If Ukraine used guided munitions, drones, or missiles with high accuracy, it shows sophistication and reduces collateral damage, increasing legitimacy and mitigating backlash. Third, strategic targeting rather than mere retaliation. Hitting command nodes, logistics hubs, radar sites, or depots rather than random targets shows operational maturity. Fourth, synchronization and multi-domain integration. Combining drones, missiles, cyber, reconnaissance, and decoys in one cohesive strike demonstrates advanced coordination. Fifth, showing deterrent capacity. Messaging not only to Russia, but to the world that Ukraine can not only defend but also strike. Sixth, signaling alliances or foreign support. If equipment was supplied by allies, these strikes showcase those tools in action and reinforce external backing. When we talk about price, it's not a commercial price tag, but the costs in lives, resources, escalation, diplomacy, and potential retaliation. Ukraine may expend missiles, drones, intelligence assets, fuel, human capital, risk of losing personnel, diplomatic blowback, or provoking Russia to strike Ukrainian rear areas or civilian infrastructure. Russia may reinterpret a deep strike as an escalation, respond with missile barrages, strikes on Ukrainian civilian areas, or target international supply corridors, risking widened conflict. The price also includes potential civilian casualties in Russian border towns or inside Russia if strikes stray, infrastructure damage, and negative international reaction if strikes cross thresholds. Ukraine's leadership must balance the gains against these risks. Another aspect is resource drain. Every missile or drone used is finite. Replacement, maintenance, replenishing war stocks matter. The price may also be measured in political capital. If a strike fails or backfires, it may undermine support or morale internally or internationally. Bringing all of this together, the conclusion, this deep strike into Russian territory under the banner massive attack, Ukraine strikes deep inside Russia, Moscow on alert, marks a bold escalation in the war. On the exterior, it dramatically signals Ukraine's reach and challenges Russian secure zones. Internally, it reflects sophisticated planning, intelligence integration, multi-domain coordination, and operational daring. Performance will be judged by target damage, disruption caused, and knock-on effects on Russian posture. The safety features employed, from electronic warfare to decoys to timing, will determine losses or survivability. Its unique selling points lie in depth, precision, synchronization, deterrent messaging, and signaling to allies and adversaries. The price is steep materially, human, diplomatic, and in potential escalation risks. If successful, this strike could force Russia to disperse forces, divert resources, and rethink rear security. But failure or heavy losses could weaken Ukraine's position and invite harsher retaliation. In sum, this is a watershed moment. It may not alone decide the conflict's outcome, but it shifts the dynamics, raising the stakes, altering perceptions, reminding all parties that this is not just a regional skirmish, but an evolving contest of strategy, capability, resolve, and risks.